Zach, hear me?
Yep, all good.
Stevie, you want to start us off?
All right, what's availability? I got Ola is back, yeah?
Yeah, Ola was, he had a bug and missed the last game, so he's available for us. Nigel Roberto will be available for us as well, so other than that, everything is the same.
Victor's out, right?
Victor's out, yeah. He's picked up a hamstring injury, which obviously he's got time now, obviously, to recover from it. But yeah, he'll miss the game.
Russ,
we have to be careful. He's trained today, Russell, but we have to be careful with him. He had concussion, and I think he's probably 50-50 for the game.
Got it. Bill has not trained this week, I assume.
No, so he'll. I think some parade is there.
Yeah.
At half time maybe.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. So he'll get a chance to say goodbye to the fans.
Did you talk to him at all about?
No, I haven't seen him. He come in. We done the team photo on Wednesday. We done the team photo on Wednesday, and he turned up. I think after the players had gone home. So I haven't spoken to him.
Was he in the photo or no? He was not in the photo.
No.
Okay, got it. And then what? Taxi obviously is not here. He's still back in Greece.
Yeah.
What do you? I mean, this happened 3 weeks ago. Do you have any kind of grasp of what is? Because he's been your best player. So what? You know.
Yeah, it's frustrating, and I think obviously we're respecting the league and in trying to come to a conclusion on the matter, and it's taken a long time. So Taxi's with his family. He's found it very difficult to deal with. As you can imagine, as I said last week, he's adamant that he didn't use the words he's accused of. So for us as a club, we're waiting for the outcome, but it's strange that it took this long and effectively ended the season for Taxi before we know what the outcome is.
Yeah, that's brutal. Young guys will be in the mix too on Sunday?
Yeah, Koo, Fletcher, Matai will all start.
All start? Wow.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Throw them out there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, giving the young guys a chance in a league match it's a proving ground, right?
Yeah, as I said, we're trying to develop, obviously, for next season, and I think for the young lads, they've had a few minutes here and there, but I think it's a good opportunity for me to see what they can do in a league game from the start, and they deserve to play. I think the training has been excellent. Koo, his last few games for Loudon has been the best player. And when they've come up and trained with us, they've done really well. So yeah, it'd be a good experience for the three of them to all start the game together, and yeah, it'd be a good opportunity for me to see them.
Will you watch England USA Women today?
I forgot it was on actually. What time is the kick-off? 3. Yeah, maybe if I get home to watch it. Should be a good game actually. I think England's in obviously a good place at the minute, so I'm sure it'll be a good game.
Prediction?
I don't know, because I had an upset Drew. I don't know, I think it'll be a close game. Hopefully England can win.
Yeah. So looking beyond Sunday, you'll head back home early next week. Is that your plan? And then
yeah, I'll spend a bit of time with me children, but obviously there's a lot of work we have to do in terms of recruitment and players coming in for next season, so there'll be quite a few changes to what we're trying to do. So be a lot of work in the off season for us to do. I know myself, Pete, will be going to watch players and going to games to watch players in the flesh, really, who we're identifying as potential targets to bring in.
Jamie, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Jamie. I'm from the Telegraph. You're now in your third season as manager, second club. growing into it. How do you think you personally have grown and sort of improved as a coach now that time is moving on and you're abroad in different settings? And how has that sort of manifested itself in practical terms?
Yeah, I think I've given myself a tough start with both jobs, obviously with Derby, and then coming in here at DC where there is changes which need to be made. So, I think coming and when I come out here to the US in terms of as a coach and wanting to develop the style of play which I want to play, it's good to try and get that over to the players here. There's a lot of foreign players and a lot of different cultures amongst the team, so the communication and how that communication is put forward is so important, and developing in different ways, both on the pitch and obviously at board level and owners developing, that is so important to me also. So it's a challenge, of course. We know as a club we need to be doing better. So as I said before to Steve, it's a big off season for us to make sure we make the right appointments and sign the right players.
How would you define that sort of style of play as such? Because obviously now with Christian Benteke and with Taxi, it's almost like saying Steve, it's almost sort of slightly reminiscent of the sort of Heskey-Owen duo at the top, little and large sort of thing, or Crouch and Defoe sort of. How do you define it? How do you see it?
Yeah, no, I think it's. I want my teams to be a possession-based team with ball possession with a purpose, not just passing it for the sake of it, and hard to beat, well organised and difficult to break down. So it's and these are steps which obviously I've been trying to put into the team since I've been here. But ultimately, I really believe you need a pre-season to do that, to work on a daily basis on how your team shape will look both in and out of possession. So yeah, we've had different combinations this year. Obviously, Christy and Taxi have played an hour together. So we've had different combinations. When sometimes we play 1-9 with two number 10s. Sometimes we play 2 9s with one number 10. So ultimately, it looks the same. It doesn't matter where the players are when we're attacking. It should look the same.
And as you say, looking ahead to next season, you say you want to bring in new faces. Not to put too much out there, but one of your former teammates at Manchester United, Cristiano Ronaldo, is rather unsettled at the moment. He seems to be. Is that a conversation that could ever happen? And more broadly, what do you think of his situation and that club's situation at the moment, where things aren't quite going as he would want and as they would want?
Yeah, I think that's the manager's decision, really. I think the manager's obviously gone a different way in terms of how they're playing, and they've been successful. Obviously, the last game wasn't, but they've had some good success over the last few weeks, playing in a different way, a different style, and younger players. So Cristiano is, there's him and Messi, two of the greatest players to ever play the game. But ultimately, time catches up with as well. And I think he's obviously not the player he was when he was 22, for instance, 23, for instance. So it's a tough one for him to. And knowing him, it'll be very difficult for him to sit on the bench. And obviously the last game in City didn't get on, so that will be tough for him. So I'm sure if he stays patient, his chance will come. And again, it's then obviously him taking them chances and trying to force his way back in.
Rather than force his way back out. Rather than force his way out.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a question for him rather than me.
I just want one sort of more broadly, and we mentioned the US and England women playing. Obviously the US England men's team play next month. You're obviously familiar with both in different ways. How do you see that going? How do you see the tournament more widely going from an England perspective?
Yeah, and you can never take any game lightly. I think the group was, if we're honest, is favourable for England. We should get through the group. But you can never take teams for granted and not underestimate them. I know the US team are a very difficult team to play against. So England will, if England do the job right and professional, I think they'll get through the group comfortably. If not, then they can make it a bit tricky for themselves. So, but yeah, the England-US game, fully expecting England to win.
No split loyalties.
No, I'm English. I want England to win, of course, and if speaking to the physio of England don't win, then I've got to call it soccer for the whole of next season. So.
Is that the case? There we go. It's you're on the line. I just wanted one more, if that's possible. You're obviously, it's been a different way that you've lived out here in the last few months than when you were a player here, with obviously your family being back home. I saw your Instagram and had a nice time in New York with them and stuff like this. Are you looking forward to being back home, spending proper time with them? There must be a bit of a sort of weight off the shoulders of the court case. You have to be in the High Court in London. There's a few distractions. Are you looking forward to pressing on and having a nice sort of time with them off season for Christmas and all the rest of it?
Yeah, no, listen, the kids are in school, so I'll go back to being a taxi driver for a few weeks, and then still looking to try and hopefully get some time away on a holiday in the half term when they break up from school. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them. It's always nice when you're away from your family for a while to go back and see them. So looking forward to it.
Very good. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Zach, we go to Zoom questions now.
We'll go to Dave Johnson first. Dave.
Hey Wayne, obviously the results, difficult, but what's been the best part for you of these last couple of months? Is it certain players, or just what has been the best part for you as you've gone through this journey?
Yeah, I think over the last few months it's really I've been trying to get the team a bit more organised and harder to beat, which in a few games we've done that. I think the Philly game was obviously a one-off from that point of view, but in general they've done okay. Fitness wise, I think we can be fitter again, which is difficult to change during the season. I think some individuals have done really well, and obviously some haven't done as well as I might have hoped. So and the whole during this whole time there's things both with the team but also off the pitch which I've been monitoring, and I think it's important that I have these conversations with the owner of what I really feel needs to change for this club to move forward.
Back to Dave.
And just along those lines, obviously we were just talking about it's important for this time you've had a chance to assess, but also for next season, I hear Christian Benteke talk about how valuable this time has been for him, so he's not playing catch up in preseason next year. Just maybe talk about how important it has been for certain players to get integrated at this time.
Yeah, I think for obviously Christian has come in from England, Ravel's come in from being in England, Victor Paulsen's come in from Germany. So we've had players, and I know obviously personally how difficult it can be to settle in, obviously to a new country, a new environment. So I think this period which they've had over here will help them. The off season now is so important. They'll all have the programs to follow, and it's important that the players do follow that, because the first day of pre-season I want them with the ball. I don't want the first week to be them running. If they follow the off-season program, which I'm hoping they all do, then it'll allow me an extra week, if you like, to work more with the ball and more on the team's shape and how we want to move forward, and my style of football really.
We'll go to Jeff Strauss.
Wayne, with Bill being more or less absent for a variety of reasons this year, it's probably safe to assume that he's out of the picture for next year. Where are you guys looking to settle with your goalkeeper? Are you really looking to lock down Ochoa, or are you going to look outside of the league or outside of the club currently?
Yeah, no, I think there's obviously conversations going on with David. We obviously want him to stay here, but we also have to be, like any club, we have to be looking and aware of what players become available. And I think that's something we need to improve on. We have to be ready for when players become available and really ready to step in and try and sign the players we want. So we have to constantly be looking at what players potentially could come in and act quite quick on them.
That's it, Wayne. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you.
So is it